Okay, we are finished with our collar, which is so exciting. I'm going to give it just a really nice press to, so it looks nice and crisp. And then we're going to put on our sleeves. Breathe a sigh of relief. If you are to this point, you have finished the hardest part of the Pacific Pullover, which is the zipper and the collar. And hopefully you're still smiling and that you're still enjoying this sew along. Once you've given it a really good and nice press, you're going to grab your sleeve pieces. And the sleeve is 2 pieces. There's a back sleeve, which is, if you want some color blocking, is nice. It also gives it some good shaping. So you have your back and your front sleeve, and then you have your notch. When you cut your sleeves, you made a decision whether you wanted cuffs or not. And I chose for this one not to have cuffs. So that means I just hem it. So you know which sleeve matches which, because whenever you put them next to each other, you'll see the sleeve curve. And we're going to put the back sleeve and the front sleeve right sides together. And you're going to match up these notches, put a clip or a pin here, and we're going to use our serger or a stretch stitch on our sewing machine, and we're going to sew down this. And then after you sew that down, if you want, you can top stitch that seam, and then this will give us our sleeve piece. So I have one sleeve done, and I'm working on the next one. I just wanted to show you that when you match these sleeves up right sides together, that this top part, you match it at the seam line, which means that the back sleeve is going to have a little bit of a dog ear or an overhang. So, but pay attention that you do it there. If you match it up right here to where the point of that sleeve goes to here, then when you go to sew, then it's going to be off. So you want to make sure that you put your clip right here to do it. And on the instructions, it says to just top stitch it with a long straight stitch. That's what I usually do. And I think it's kind of important just because this seam allowance just feels a little bit more comfortable against your skin if it's top stitched down. Okay, so I have finished putting my sleeve pieces together, and I have 2 sleeves, and I'm going to find the front part of the sleeve, and I'm going to match it with the coordinating sleeve. So I have my front matched, and I also have my top of the sleeve marked. So I'm going to match that each sleeve to that. I'm going to get some clips and clip this together. So you're going to clip the top of the sleeve to that, and then your front of your sleeve, you're going to clip here. It doesn't match at the princess seam, but it matches pretty close. You'll just know that where you have the front marked is going to go on the side with the princess seam. And then you are going to sew these sleeves on. So you're going to start here, and you're going to sew a sleeve all the way around here, just getting them to fit into here. And then this one goes on the other, and I know I don't have, there it is, I have it marked. There's the front of that sleeve, and it matches. So you're doing right sides together, and I'm going to use a serger. You can also use a stretch stitch, and we're going to stitch these sleeves in, and then I'll be right back. We have sewn our sleeves in. You should have both sleeve seams done, and this is what your jacket should look like right now, or I guess it's called a pullover. And you see how pretty it's becoming. Okay, so now we're going to turn it right sides together or inside out. And now that it's inside out, all we need to do is sew, you can either start at your sleeve hem and come all the way up, or you can start at the hem line, matching right sides together, and you're just going to sew all the way up here, and that will close it up. And we're going to do that on both sides using a 3/8 inch seam allowance. And when we do, we're also going to catch our pocket right here, and I'm pretty excited. We're so close to the end. I am done sewing up my side seams. Now's the time where you get to try on your pullover, see how everything fits. And I am going to now hem it. I saw whenever I tried it on, I just always put a clip where I want it to be hemmed, and I've decided on here. And the same thing with the sleeves. And if you want to use a band on one and hem the other, then that's fine, or vice versa. And I'm going to go ahead and hem both of these. Also, there's a video that Angie has recorded if you want to do the sleeve cuffs with the thumb holes. So turn it inside out, press it down, press all your seams, and then you can use your cover stitch or a twin needle to hem all around. And then you are finished. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining, for putting up with me, for listening. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, I would love to help, or any feedback. I would love to hear it. This was my first one, and I hope you enjoyed sewing with me.